Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls, start saving thousands in interest and fees, and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
For writers and public personalities, it's becoming increasingly important to have an online presence. This normally takes the form of a website and social media. However, things like a cluttered site or broken links can scare potential readers away. It's time to get a health check. Until the 30th of June, Black Wolf Editorial Services is offering a special website health check package. Get a new bio for your site. Have the site navigation and general layout assessed. Get a review of your Twitter activities. Get an objective opinion about your public Facebook page. Find out what works well and what could potentially scare your readers away. And all this for $35. At the end of the day, the face we put online will be the one that most people will see. Let us help you put your best foot forward. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For full details and a list of other services, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark. The leader in talk radio on the internet, right here on K98Talk.com.
My name is Jessie. I'm a United States Special Forces widow. This gives me a unique perspective on the world around us. If you're willing to listen, I'll tell you how I see it, and I won't pull any punches. This is my POV, which stands for Point of View. All right, this is Jessie. I'm so happy to be back with you guys. First, I owe you guys a bit of an apology. I had an emergency come up yesterday while I was working on my show, trying to get everything done just after I'd recorded the first interview I played for you yesterday. And so I dumped the Judge Gray interview in to fill up the show and had to go off and take care of something. I apologize. However, some things, I hate to say it, do take priority over my listeners. When life and limb is involved, I'm sorry. Friends and family have to come first. As much as I love you guys, I can't put you ahead of my close friends and family. All right, now that we've covered that, I've got more stuff for you. Yes, I do. All right. So, we've got a lot of topics to get through. We're going to do our best. Oh, and I've got something special coming for Saturday's Slowdown. I've got a liberal college student who's also a host on K98 Talk, although his show's on hiatus right now. Bryce of Opinion Nation is going to do an interview with me about college campuses because he's currently a college student, and safe space and quote-unquote talking about his feelings and all kinds of other interesting things he's bumped into. So, that's going to be interesting. Now, that will be a Saturday Slowdown segment, but it's Thursday. It's not too early to start plugging it, is it? I don't think so. All right. Now, back to the rest of the topics. I've got some stuff on Brexit. I've got some stuff on the Rio Games, the Rio Olympics. I've got some stuff on the attack in Turkey, and I've got some stuff about the soldiers that were detained by Iran. Hate to say it, but it looks like the soldiers screwed up. Yep, they made a mistake. So they are being disciplined for it because it was a biggie caught on international television, blah, blah, blah. It made a major international incident. And as much as I love my military, I understand the need for training. I understand the need for discipline and order. So, by the way, if you caught my intro, today is the last day of Black Wolf Editorial's website health check. If you want to get in on this, she has a couple of spaces left. Please go to her website, check it out. She'll take a look at all your social media, well, your Facebook, your Twitter, and your website. Make sure you don't have broken links. Make sure you don't have the things look right and work right and they flow nicely together, like your tweets are actually showing up like they should on your Facebook page or your Twitter or your website, and that your tweets aren't going out as links if you're tweeting them out from Facebook to Twitter. They show up as links. She'll show you, well, she'll tell you how to fix it, but it's up to you to do the work. But she'll tell you what she thinks you need to fix from an average user standpoint. She does not log into your stuff. She does not get into your personal passwords and usernames. Unless you've got a username called Dusty Fairy and your name is Jane Smith, in which case she's going to say, if you're trying to be professional, that's not the best idea. All right. Now that I've talked about Black Wolf and I've talked about Saturday Slowdown and I've given you a little peek on the Sailors, which is going to have to wait till the second half of the show so I can get the audio pulled. Because I've got to pull audio out of a 30-minute press conference. Got it marked, just haven't pulled it yet. We're going to talk about the attacks in Turkey. The terrorist attack in Turkey. First off, it was tragic. It was tragic. All right, I don't like to see innocents gunned down ever. So let's start with that. Secondly, the death toll last I saw was up to 40 some odd. So the death toll is rising, and it could still rise. People are hospitalized with their injuries. They still could perish. All right. So I've got some audio, I think, on that. Let me take a look, see if I actually remember to load it. Yes, I've got it. All right. This is talking about the attackers. Now, this was done over a satellite communication link to a major news outlet, ABC. It's a little bit choppy. It backs up and starts over for a second or two and a couple times. I apologize. There was nothing I could do about it. It was the way the original audio was. I cannot fix it. So, but it's not too bad. It's definitely not unusable. So we're going to run with it, and let's take a listen.
Now to the latest on the terror attack in Turkey overnight. Officials conducting raids as we learn new details about that deadly blast at the airport. ABC's Terry Moran is on the scene, has the latest for us. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, Robin. Istanbul is a shaken city today. Security is being intensified at public places around the city, and officials are now disclosing they believe the attackers here at the airport were Russian, and they are learning more about what they did here. This morning, authorities in Istanbul are cracking down. 16 raids throughout the city targeting ISIS, and 13 people are now under arrest. This as we learn new details about that horrific attack on the city's airport Tuesday. The coordinated massacre killing 42 people and wounding 239 others. Released images of the suspected attackers, this man in a baseball cap with an alleged accomplice. Officials say the three attackers pulled up in a taxi just before 10 p.m. Tuesday. At the front of the airport where the first layer of security is. They were spotted and scattered. One heading down that way, opening fire, detonating his explosive. Another making it busted windows, blew himself up there. The third going downstairs where people were waiting for rides, and detonating there. They used automatic weapons and unleashed them inside the airport. The attacks inside happened first. Passengers fleeing in terror as the gunmen opened fire. Then an explosion, shaking tiles from the ceilings.
Just running, tripping, police with guns drawn, and it quickly became clear that something nasty had happened. This wasn't a drill. This wasn't a hoax.
But in the confusion, this officer approaches one of the attackers, shooting him. The terrorist's gun sliding across the floor. The officer comes closer, but then runs for cover as the terrorist on the ground fumbles side vest. This morning, that officer, Yasin Durna, is reportedly recovering in the hospital with a spleen injury from a gunshot wound. But the terror wasn't over. As people ran out of the airport, a third attacker was waiting, detonating his suicide vest near a line of taxis. Funerals for the victims have begun. We are told that 94 people still remain in the hospital.
Such a devastating event. Okay, Terry, thanks very much.
All right, so, I said it was a terrible event. It looks like the attackers were Russian ethnic or Chechen or in that Russian region. They're talking about Uzbekistan and Kyrgyzstan, and I've got a little bit more pulled up on that. Let me get to it. Sorry, if you could see my desktop, you'd understand why I'm saying let me get to it. All right, the death toll from Tuesday's terror attack is at 44 today. And another, they're talking about people dying in the hospital. Neighbors describe suspicious activity where they say the shades were always drawn. Come on. One neighbor who did not want to be identified told ABC News there was a chemical smell coming from another apartment, and on Sunday the smell was so strong she thought there was a gas leak. All right. Well, I don't want to turn us into a tell on your neighbor kind of state. If you've got people acting suspiciously and you can't get a read on what they're doing and you start smelling strange chemicals and or gas, they could be making drugs, they could be making a bomb, they could be doing something innocent. or something stupid. I'd rather have you say something to someone, to a government official, than to let it go and us find ourselves with another attack. All right, the overnight operation that were referencing consisted of 16 raids at different addresses in Istanbul. So no one has yet claimed the responsibility for the attack. But as my guest yesterday said, they don't always. But Turkey's interior minister said all findings are pointing towards ISIS. The attack bears the hallmarks of ISIS depravity. And if you've ever watched any of the horrifically graphic, disgusting ISIS videos online, you will understand what I'm saying on that. Alright. Basically, one attack, they pulled up in a taxi, they separated. After one went off, they started running in to cause more damage. They were using automatic weapons. And Turkey is a country where you can't easily get a weapon. So, gun control laws do not solve everything, people. Terrorists and people intent on doing evil will find a way. Just like the Boston Marathon bombers used pressure cooker bombs. They did use some guns, but one of them was stolen off of someone they killed. So come on. Terrorists will always find a way. Now, let's talk about Rio. The Rio Olympics. There have been so many issues. First of all, you've got the Zika virus in the region. So a lot of athletes are saying, no, thanks, I'm passing. I'm going to stay home this year. I have a schedule conflict, whatever. But a lot of people are backing out. Now, Rio is currently, when Rio won the games, they were flying high. They were on top of the world. So there's 100 days to go. They're still trying to finish up sites. They're dealing with traffic and congestion. They're dealing with Zika. And there's security issues. Oh yeah, the games are supposed to open on August 5th. That's when the opening ceremonies are scheduled for. However, it's pretty bad. People are protesting the Olympics. They're not excited about them. Yeah. Brazil is in the worst recession since the 1930s. So, yeah, it's not looking good. Now, Olympics are costly to put on. They're costly to attend. So, alright. The subway line, intended to connect the largest of the 4 Olympic venue clusters, it's incomplete. Travel on the extension during the games may be restricted to accredited personnel and ticket holders prepared to pay. Completion of the subway line has been in jeopardy. Should it fail to materialize, travel during the Olympics may become daunting. So, alright. There's the water quality. We're talking about polluted water. We're talking about raw sewage. We're talking about, yeah, it's bad. I wouldn't drink the water in Rio either. All right. There is a newly built elevated bike path. One of the mayor's glorious projects aimed at transforming the city ahead of the games collapsed, killing 2 people. On the same day as the Olympic torch was lit in Greece. Then, let's go with security. All right. Police aren't being paid. Their regular salaries are not being paid. Their overtime. Healthcare is on the verge of collapsing. The police infrastructure is on the verge of collapsing. Organizers say that 85,000 soldiers and police will be on duty, as compared to the 17,000 personnel and security staff of around 40,000 at London. However, there's been wider cuts to Brazilian security budgets over the past year. So this is going to be interesting. So, now, the Paralympics, which usually takes place shortly after the regular Olympics, 60% of Olympic and 22% of Paralympic tickets have been sold. Only 60%. Come on. This is... Usually Olympics sell out in like minutes. So... I mean, this is one of those... This could be really interesting. They say Brazilians will like to watch the track and field and swimming. So, like I said, it's one of those things... It could be interesting. Beyond the individual choices about whether to travel to Rio, one sport might decide the fate of the entire nation. Russia's consumed by a mere series of doping scandals. It's barred from all international competition by the governing body of world athletics. We don't know if Russia is going to be able to attend the Olympics. So, I mean, I don't know. Rio's got a tough road to hoe with this. Like I said, when they got the Olympics, they were flying high. Now, not so much. They're embroiled in scandal. Olympics are costly to put on. You've got to build venues and Olympic villages and all kinds of other things. All right, I do have an audio clip on this for you. Let's take a listen. Because I didn't mention the latest. I'll let the audio speak to you and then we'll discuss it.
It seems like this country can't really catch a break when it comes to these Olympic Games. What was discovered by a beachgoer were 2 body parts. One was a foot that the authorities believe could have belonged to a woman or a young adult. The other was an unidentified body part. No indication whatsoever that this was some sort of foul play, but the visual of these body parts being found on the beach right in front of where the beach volleyball area is being built up was really quite jarring, especially because it comes on the heels of so many other things that have just gone so phenomenally wrong. To name just a few of them, you have, as you can see behind me, this issue with traffic here. Now, of course, to try to counter that, they are going to be setting up specific lanes for buses to ferry people all around. But you also have perhaps what is the most looming and most pressing issue at this stage, and that is that of security. And I'm not just talking about concerns related to any sort of potential terrorist activity, but just security in the city in general that has been on a fairly rapid downward spiral, especially over the last few months. And now you have the police force themselves saying that their overtime is not being paid, their regular salaries are not arriving to them on time. Authorities coming out and warning that if these payments are not made, we do really risk seeing security and emergency health services collapse entirely. They're also trying to scramble to even begin completing some of these venues. And what's been quite interesting too, Robin, and I'm here for the first time, in talking to the Brazilians that I have managed to speak to, they're really not all that excited about the games, because a lot of the benefits that they thought the country would be seeing because they were hosting the Olympic Games have not even come close to materializing at this stage, Robin.
All right, so Brazilians aren't even excited about their own Olympic Games. The benefits they thought they were going to get aren't coming through. The country and the city is mired in political scandal. The economy is depressed. And we have body parts. Yes, human body parts washing up on the beach right near where the beach volleyball venue is going to be. If I was an athlete, I'd have to think 2 or 3 long, hard times about going to this Olympic Games. Between the Zika virus, the lack of security, the bad water, I just don't know. I'm kind of glad I don't have to make that decision. I'm not going to Rio. Nope, this reporter's not going. So, you can keep it. So, alright. Now, we are going to go to commercial break just a couple minutes early because I am going to finish up prepping the audio for the segment about the Navy. And I want to be able to take my time with it, so I'm not going to try and cram it in. I want to be able to do it and do it right. All right? Come on, you know me. I like to do it and do it the right way. So. All right. So we're going to head to commercial. And I will see you after I pay those bills.
You can lay down if you wanna. You can run away if you wanna. You can pretend that this is totally okay if you wanna. You can play dead if you wanna. Forget what they said if you wanna. Turn your back on the country needing you right now. But I don't wanna.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Is debt beating you down? You need discipline. You need the Debt Ninja. If you've been caught in a financial trap and need to be set free, then you need the Debt Ninja. Want to stop those harassing collection calls? Start saving thousands in interest and fees and get out of debt fast? Then you need to call the Debt Ninja. The Debt Ninja will find the best companies across the country that will help you consolidate all your bills into one easy payment, reduce your payments by 30 to 50%, and get you out of debt fast. If you have unsecured debt of $10,000 or more, such as credit cards, loans, or medical bills, call the Debt Ninja for a free 15-minute consultation.
Call 800-826-1246. 800-826-1246. That's 800-826-1246. Call today.
The Debt Ninja.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method and to get your free report, go to 29security.com. That's the number 29security.com. 29security.com. Go to 29security.com.
All right. Thank you for bearing with me while I paid those bills. Gotta get the bills paid, just like you do. All right. I've just about got the first part of that audio pulled up. Give me a couple more seconds. I hate to say it. The sailors in this case, caused their own headache. And I am the first one to support our troops, as you all know. So I've got some audio on it, and I'm working on more. Like I said, we're going to do this, probably break it down to a couple of little audio clips and discuss each one. I think it's important. You know, I try not to waste your time or mine. So, all right. The short version is the sailors are being disciplined for their actions because they did make a mistake, a very high-profile, critical mistake. All right. Here's where things started to go wrong. Let's take a listen. This is part of it.
The riverine command boats operate from Bahrain. They conduct escort of high-value assets in and out of port as their primary mission. On 12 January, 2 boats departed Kuwait on a 259 nautical mile transit to Bahrain, the longest the cruise had ever executed. The boats departed about 4 hours later than planned and immediately deviated from their planned route in an attempt to make up some time. Under training, the report validated that pre-deployment training and certification was adequate and appropriate for the missions expected to be assigned. However, the investigation also found that once deployed, sustainment training, including navigation, weapons, and rules of engagement training, was not conducted.
All right, so, 1, they didn't follow the route they were supposed to take. 2, this caused them to run into several international bodies of water, and I've got some audio on that. 3, they didn't maintain their training. Now, the lack of maintaining training was a systemic problem, meaning it was more than just these few sailors that we all saw. Got some more audio. We're going to take a little listen so you can hear what bodies of water they ran through before the Iranians picked them up.
Saudi Arabian territorial seas and then through Iranian territorial seas off the coast of Farsi Island. Approximately a mile and a half south of Farsi Island, one of the two boats suffered an engine problem. That was at 4:11 p.m. Both boats stopped, one to conduct engine repairs, the second boat to provide support. At 4:20, two Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGCN, patrol craft approached at high speed with weapons uncovered. The U.S. crews attempted to communicate with the Iranians, informing them they had an engine issue. Shortly thereafter, the engine was repaired and the crews attempted to evade. One of the boats was physically blocked, preventing it from departing the area when two larger IRGCN vessels arrived. The U.S. boats, assessing that they were overmatched.
All right, so in case you didn't catch all that, because it was a little choppy, and I apologize for that, the short version is they deviated from the routes and were trying to just short-circuit the system and take a route that wasn't authorized to make up time. There are authorized routes for a reason. To keep you out of trouble. I love my sailors. I support you. There's authorized routes for a reason. There are rules for reasons. Okay, so then, while they were taking their shortcut that turned out to be a disaster, one of the boats had an engine problem. So the other one, they used the buddy system. So boat number 2 pulls over and says, "What can we do to help?" They were working on the engine repair when the Iranians caught up with them. And then we all saw it on TV. They were detained for approximately 16 hours. Now, later on in this briefing, which I don't have the audio prep for, you'll find out that these sailors gave up passwords and other critical information to the Iranians. This isn't good. They told the Iranians what they wanted to know. Now, how much duress they were under, I don't know. I really don't. I wasn't there. I wasn't on the ground. So, I've got an article here pulled up about it. We're going to take a look at it. It's from the New York Times. The 10 U.S. sailors captured and humiliated by Iran after mistakenly steering their boats into Iranian waters in January were beset not just by poor judgment and faulty equipment. They also showed a remarkable lack of curiosity about potential dangers in one of the world's more dangerous waterways. In deviating from their planned Persian Gulf route from Kuwait to Bahrain without asking approval or notifying superiors, they passed now into the east and wondered whether it might be Saudi territory, rocks, or oil platforms. The crews of both boats controlled their navigation systems, which depicted the mass as a small purple dot. Despite being unsure of the surroundings, the sailors did not adjust their onboard navigation displays to enlarge the purple dot. If they had, they would have seen it was labeled Farsi Island, a well-known base for the Iran Revolutionary Guard Corps, Navy. No crew member on either boat utilized a paper navigational chart in order to plot their exact location
or identify the island they had seen, even though the charts were available on their boats. No crew member even bothered to log the fact they had seen the island. Crew members lacked navigational awareness, proper communication with higher authority, and appreciation for the threat environment throughout the transit. So, this, like I said, this was FUBAR from the word go. The trouble for riverine command boats 802 and 805, each with 5 sailors aboard, began before they even left port in Kuwait. On short notice, they were delayed, unprepared, poorly supervised, and ill-suited for the mission. At least one sailor had been up all night with boat repairs. Their higher headquarters failed to arrange air or surface monitoring of the boat's transit. Yeah, no one was paying attention to where they were going. A short time after coming within view of Farsi Island, which we already noted was a Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps island, one of the boats had an engine problem. Both boats cut their engines while the crew troubleshot the problems, even though standard procedure was to maneuver to a safe location using the unaffected engine. Neither boat captain ordered his gunners to stand lookout or man their weapons. Approximately 5 to 15 minutes later, 2 armed Iranian boats approached from Farsi Island about 1.6 miles away. The coxswain, or the driver of one of the Navy boats, later told investigators he thought they were just seeing just people on boats. Nothing in my mind said they were Iranians or anyone that looked military, just normal boats. With the Iranians pointing their guns at U.S. crew members, the ranking U.S. sailor decided to try and talk his way out of the predicament. He later characterized what happened as both a surrender and a capture. If I decided to start a firefight, I know a lot of my guys would be dead, the unnamed sailor told investigators. I didn't want to start a war with Iran. My thought at the end of the day was that no one had to die for a misunderstanding. I made the gamble. They're not going to Tehran and parade us around like prisoners of war. The Iranians boarded the U.S. boats, confronted sailors at gunpoint, and took them to Farsi Island where they were fed, interrogated, and kept overnight before being released after Washington intervened. The incident caused an uproar. We all remember it. It was the same day as President Barack Obama's final State of the Union address, just what he needed. Republicans criticized the administration response, which included thanking Iran for releasing the sailors. Investigation concluded while boat crews aired and entering Iranian waters, the Iranians violated international law by impeding the boat's innocent passage and violated U.S. sovereign immunity by boarding and seizing the boats. So, last week the Navy announced the firing of Captain Kyle Moses, who was commander of the Navy task force that was in charge of the boats during their mission. The officer who was the executive officer of the squadron at the time, Commander Eric Raish, was removed from his position in May. Like I said, a sailor was said to have failed to uphold the code of conduct standards when he ordered crew members to cooperate with the Iranian video production and acquiesced in making an Iranian scripted statement in exchange for the crew's release. This goes against the code of conduct. It is very seriously against it. Let me pull up the U.S. Navy Code of Conduct for you, because I'm sorry, that's not part of it. So, Navy Code of Ethics is what I came up with. Let's see what we got. Yeah, it's not nothing I can read out. It's just a disaster. But the U.S. Military Code of Conduct is a whole other thing. I mean, come on. These guys basically rolled over and gave in. And under the Uniform Code of Military and Justice, they're lucky. They're probably just getting kicked out. Had they not been following orders of an officer, even though they probably didn't realize those orders were unlawful, they might be headed to Leavenworth. Because you don't roll over like that. That's why they put people through SERE school, S-E-R-E, survive, evade, resist, escape. Now, I do not know whether these sailors were ever put through SERE school. Not every member of the United States Armed Forces is. Now, I do know that there is online SERE training available, so you don't actually have to physically go to SERE school, but it just gives you the brief overview and tells you the thumbnails of what to do if you're ever captured. Even that online training would have helped them. Now, I know the Navy has stepped up their training significantly. I'm sorry that my Navy, United States Navy, had let its standards slip big time. I'm sorry. That's just not cool. All right. Now, I promise you something on Brexit. I tried to get the audio on this. It just wasn't working, and I didn't want to give you crap audio. So we're doing it without the audio. All right. The leader of the Leave movement, Boris Johnson, is not going to seek to lead Britain. He will not run for Prime Minister. Pardon me. Afternoon nap time's coming, I think. All right. In a day of intrigue and betrayal, predictions about the next Prime Minister of Britain were overturned on Thursday as the presumed favorite, Boris Johnson, said he would not run after his ally in the Brexit campaign, Michael Gove, suddenly announced his candidacy. Gove once ruled himself out for the job. His U-turn Thursday wrecked Mr. Johnson's prospects and enhanced those of Theresa May, the Home Secretary, who had backed the Remain campaign but with little enthusiasm. With Mr. Johnson out, the prospect of a race between Miss May and Mr. Gove is likely. All right. The sense that Mr. Johnson, the former London mayor, might try to reach a softer deal with Brussels and his willingness to promise key jobs to Mr. Gove and other leaders of the campaign to exit the European Union helped doom his candidacy, legislators said. Mr. Gove said Thursday he'd come reluctantly to the conclusion that Boris cannot provide the leadership or build the team for the task ahead. Miss May supported staying in the European Union, was a relatively quiet voice in the debate, and made no enemies. She's considered a candidate of continuity, who's farther to the right than Prime Minister David Cameron, who announced his resignation the day the vote was announced. Well, the day after the vote was, when we finally got the results. Because if you remember, I apologize. I'll have to get another cup of coffee. So, anyway. Basically, he said, you know what? This is what you want. I think you're going to need a new leader as well. So, and I can respect that. Do I totally agree with it? No. Can I respect it? Yes. I respect almost anyone's personal opinion. And like I said, I'll never call you names. Alright, now we're going through my mailbox. Daily trip through my mailbox. Alright. Algerian security services have foiled a plot hatched by a cell linked to the Islamic State militant group to launch a deadly attack on a shopping mall in the country's eastern city of Saraf. This is according to a government newspaper reported on Wednesday. Boko Haram suicide bomber kills 11 at mosque in Cameroon. Risk of a full-blown famine in South Sudan. Urging a tougher stance, the UN adds 2,500 peacekeepers to the Mali mission. Let's see if they tell us a little bit more about what the Mali mission is. Let me pull it up all the way in full. So, give me 1 second. All right. The United Nations Security Council agreed on Wednesday to add just over 2,500 peacekeepers to the UN peacekeeping mission in Mali, which has been hit by a deadly series of attacks and become the deadliest place to serve for UN peacekeepers. The French drafted resolution was unanimously approved by the 15-nation council. The Mali peacekeeping mission should take all necessary means to carry out its mandate and move to a more proactive and robust posture. Mali's government and various separatist groups signed a peace deal last year, but has failed to prevent periodic violence in northern Mali by Islamic militants who have also staged assaults on high-profile targets in the capital. All right, so basically Mali has half a government right now, and the UN's trying to fill the gap. All right, got it. Now, I know I'm almost out of time, but we're still going to finish going through my mailbox. Do you own an Android phone? Oh, you want to hear this one. An Android Trojan dubbed Hummer has infected millions of smartphones, and experts believe the malware could have helped cybercriminals make a significant amount of money. Security researchers at China-based Cheetah Mobile have been monitoring the malware family since August 2014, but the number of infections was insignificant until mid-2015. Infections have risen even more in 2016, with a daily average of 1.2 million devices affected. Hummer has infected Android smartphones all over the world. Now, thankfully for the United States, most affected are India, Indonesia, Turkey, China, and Mexico. Research estimate that if cybercriminals make 50 cents from each infection, they could earn more than $500,000 in a single day. Once infected, Hummer attempts to root the device in an effort to gain administrative privileges on the system. The latest variant of the threat includes a module that has 18 different rooting methods. By rooting the smartphone, the Trojan ensures it cannot easily be removed by security solutions, even factory resets. The malware regularly displays ads and installs malicious or unwanted applications in the background. The Trojan also generates a lot of traffic, which could be problematic for users with limited mobile data plans. Researchers determined that Hummer downloaded more than 200 APKs and generated 2 gigabytes of network traffic in just a few hours. Attackers have been controlling and updating the Trojan using 12 command and control domains linked to a Chinese email address. The researchers believe that this Trojan family originated from the underground internet industry chain in China based on the Trojan codes that have been uploaded to an open source platform by a careless member of the criminal group behind the Trojan family. Researchers have spotted several sophisticated Android Trojans over the past month. One of them, dubbed Triada, has been named by the Kaspersky Lab the most advanced mobile malware seen to date. Of other noteworthy threats are Android Bankowski and Android Cessford, whose authors have found a way to abuse an API to bypass the security features in the latest version of Android and adapt attacks to abuse the permissions model. Yes, even your cell phone is not safe from malware these days. All right. Ooh, this one's a good one. Let me pull it up and then we'll talk about it. Except we're running through my mailbox. I haven't even read some of these emails yet, so you're getting it at the same time I am. New Iran Armed Forces chief warns of military intervention if Baghdad is threatened. For those of you living under a rock, Tehran is the capital of Iran. Baghdad is the capital of Iraq. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei appoints Major General Mohammad Bagheri as the new chief of the Armed Forces General Staff Tehran. Iran's new Armed Forces General Staff Chief has reiterated the Islamic Republic's security red lines and priorities the day after his appointment. Baghdad, the sacred shrines and the burial places of the pure imams in Iraq are all the Islamic Republic's red lines, he proclaimed. If these are endangered, the Islamic Republic will enter action directly and will annihilate the wicked with diligent and strong defense. Reassuring Tehran's allies, not sure who they are, but okay, Bagheri vowed to support them until victory. If the interests of our friends and allies are endangered, he said, then per the directives of the Commander-in-Chief, we will support the companions of the Iranian nation in any way. Per the directives of the Supreme Leader and the Supreme National Security Council, we will undertake actions specific to that place announced. So basically, Iran's going, you don't mess with our stuff in Baghdad. You mess with any of the imams or anybody else, and we're coming out for you. So, yeah. All right. All right. UN says Iraqi children are relentlessly targeted in war. The UN Children's Fund warned on Thursday that 3.6 million Iraqi children are at serious risk of death, injury, sexual violence, abduction, and recruitment, and has called on warring parties in Iraq to protect their rights. All right, first of all, ISIS doesn't respect anybody's rights, so why would they respect the kids? Ooh, this is a good one. Yeah, it's more terror-related stuff, but it's got the CIA director's comments in it, so we're going to take a look at it. CIA Director Brennan says Istanbul bombing should serve as a warning to the United States. CIA Director John Brennan said that the suicide bombings in Istanbul, Turkey, bore the signs of ISIS and should serve as a warning to Americans that the terrorist group is aiming to carry out similar attacks in the United States. I'd be surprised if ISIS or Daesh or ISIL is not trying to carry that kind of attack in the United States. Brennan told Yahoo News Tuesday evening, although no organization has claimed responsibility for the bombings at the Istanbul Ataturk airport Tuesday night. Brennan said the method of attack fits the profile of the terror group. 3 suicide attackers wearing explosive vests opened fire and blew themselves up in the airport's arrival hall. It was a coordinated massacre. It echoed the ISIS bombings at the Brussels airport 3 months earlier. Turkish Prime Minister Binali Yildirim told reporters hours after the Istanbul bombings that initial findings implicated ISIS. While the Kurdish Workers' Party, or the PKK, has targeted police and military personnel with bombs during the past year, ISIS is more likely behind Tuesday's attack. So far, ISIS has been able to attack the United States directly because of effective Homeland Security intelligence measures. But militants will continue their attempts to infiltrate American defenses. And President Obama wants to bring more refugees here. I'm sorry, not my style. All right, I'm a little bit over time, so I'm getting out of here!